with this podcast one time, but if you have the gumption just to walk up with
I've got
a
it,
few
man.
hundred people and just say, you know what, cut a promo for my podcast, I will assume that you have good moxie. I will assume that the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast is a good one. I haven't heard a minute of it, but I'm assuming it's great.
Check
and I
us
can't
out.
wait to listen to it.
Check us out.
Cheers, man. Good luck out there.
Welcome to the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast, where we help you take the next step in your fantasy journey.
Welcome back to the Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Jake. Once again, joined by my friend Jordan. Jordan, how you doing?
Oh, it's good to be back, Jake. Two weeks off is just unacceptable.
It's
Got
unacceptable.
sickness,
I don't
we got
want to blame
technical
people.
difficulties. We were out of town. It just, what are we doing? We got to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, we let the people down.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
It's probably your fault, but
I was gone 1 week. I was out of town. Also,
Camping.
look at you, you're cutting my head off.
well, then
in the
back
swing.
down. Oh my gosh, we're a hot mess. We're live on YouTube, youtube.com/Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast. It's good to be back. That's the point. Is what we're trying to get
Yeah,
at.
there is. Yep.
We've missed 2 weeks, 2 full weeks, but we're in it. Fantasy season is live and going, and I hope everyone.
Nick, how you
is-
doing? How are your teams? You bounced back? I know week 2 we talked and it was. Some
Well,
leagues were a little dicey. Some
Let
were
me tell you what
some were
fantasy
good,
football
so-
is like, and we talk about it a lot, probably more than the average player.
You could say that.
Yes. Let me tell you a quick story before we get. Don't want to spend too long on this. I needed a quarterback in the home league. Our buddy Daniel, shout out Daniel, was like, I'll move somebody. So it's a Thursday. It is 7:07 p.m. Central Time. At 7:07, I trade for Tua Tagovailoa. 45 minutes later, he hits his head again. And all you can do is just go, hands up. Just, ugh.
Yeah.
It's just
Jake,
part of the game.
Well,
The kiss of
more
death
for
is
you-
real.
Yeah, more for you than most people. It is part of the game.
The kiss of death is real. So what we're going to do here, we're going to quickly, Jordan, jump through the guys we like this week because the games do start.
Shortly, yeah.
Someone in the chat said, did you just do your hands just like he did after the hit? Okay. Yikes. But yeah, kind of. So we're going to quickly go through the guys we like. Games start here shortly. And then we're going to quickly also, we're going to do some overreaction, underreaction stuff. But we can get into that in just a second. Please excuse my screaming children downstairs. You ready, Jordan?
That's all right. They're excited. They're watching the podcast. They're thrilled.
All right.
Jake, I got a little bit of news first, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
All right. Well, Thursday Night Top Gun's already up. But go for it.
Well,
It's
we'll
fine.
talk
It's
about
up.
that.
I'm not going to take it down. Go ahead.
Devontae Adams, Jake. We have to lead with the main.
Oh, that's
main
right,
event
yeah.
Here. So the Raiders seem to be open to trading Devontae Adams, who is currently not playing. Devontae Adams came out and said his preferred spots are the Saints and the Jets. Surprise, surprise. Wants to be with his quarterback buddies. Jake, what are your
surprise.
thoughts?
I don't want him to go to the Jets because I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers succeed even a little. This past
Wow.
week, the Denver Broncos beat the New York Jets. It was beautiful. I was texting Adam the whole time. Sean Payton
yeah?
making some head-scratching decisions. But, yes. I don't
But a
want
win's a
that.
win.
I don't want it.
You don't
I
want
hate
that?
it. No.
All right.
Yeah. No, thank you. I don't know where he should go. Pittsburgh. You go to Pittsburgh, that is a good spot.
I don't think he's interested.
puts
in
him
winning.
over the
That's
top.
I don't think he's interested in winning. I think he just wants to ride out into the sunset
With his
That's
friends?
correct. Yeah.
Oh, well, then go to the Saints.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rashee Rice, feared torn ACL, one to keep an eye out for. Though Chiefs will probably trade for someone,
Maybe.
or pick someone up, and that's who you want. Tua, we obviously talked about. He's looking to be on track for a Week 8 return. Jake, that would
Love
be
it. Go
impressive.
Tua.
That would be impressive. And then we'll get into some other stuff too as we flip through these. But Nick Chubb expected to be back at practice this week. They opened his practice window. I know it's not big news, but I'm excited for that.
It's news.
When was the last time we had Nick Chubb playing a game?
It's news in the sense that maybe you're having a hard time at running back right now. Maybe a guy you might want to try and go get on the cheap.
Yeah.
on the cheap.
There's some other stuff, some other injuries and things, but the big ones, we
yeah.
talked about. Yep.
All right, Thursday Night Tough Gun. So a guy we like today, or starting here in the next half hour, actually, Bucky Irving. So here's the thing. Him and Rachaad White are nearly in a 50-50 split at this point.
The touches were equal last week.
And Irving has been the better one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. A flex play, but has some touchdown upside. He's not getting the goal line carries right now, which kind of is a bummer. But, it's just a reminder. It's just a reminder. These are guys, right? We're not picking the big name guys, right? So we're talking about flex plays here. I think you could do worse than Bucky Irving.
Yep. And like you said, the scales are shifting just a little bit there. We see, they started with Rachaad White was the bell cow. Bucky Irving eating into that. I think, it kind of tips again. If Adam was here, this would be Ken Walker-esque.
Love me
a couple years back. Yeah.
Adam was too early on Ken Walker. That was his problem.
No, he was right on. He said something like, week 5, Ken Walker will have more carries than Rashad Penny or whoever was there. And he was right on the money, with that. So, no, that was one of his buckets that he nailed.
All right, moving on to the Sunday Stars. Guys, we like Justin Fields quietly been really good. He's quietly been very good. He has 1 turnover on the year, or 2 turnovers on the year, which was his problem. This is working really well. Just for the Steelers in general, I mean, if he takes them to the playoffs, they might just ride him continuously. I mean, like for next year and whatnot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, they might draft somebody, but
he's in a nice spot. Rushing upside's where it's at, right? Especially when they get to the goal line. During the offseason, I talked about how much I like Najee Harris. He's going to get the goal line carries. They're not doing that. They're running read options, and he's just taking it in. So really good going up against the Cowboys team on Sunday Night Football. No DeMarcus Lawrence. Micah Parsons has a high ankle sprain.
Up a little bit, yeah.
Really like him this week. And then we also like Dontavian Wicks from the Green Bay Packers as a receiver. Listen, he's playing a lot. He's getting opportunities. Had some drops last game, which was a bummer, but then caught a touchdown.
He's getting looks, though. He's getting looks.
So
And no Christian Watson, or potentially no Christian Watson this week. I don't know if they've officially announced that. Huh?
There's not a chance.
There's not a chance.
He got bent in half. It was gross.
Yeah, so I touchdown upside for Wicks this week.
All right, and then Monday Night Miracle, the guy we're hoping for, Xavier Worthy is wide receiver 1 for the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Saints. He offers some upside, right? So here's the problem right now is we're a year away from Xavier Worthy. I think that's kind of where we're at, right? Right now he's one of those guys that's just gonna boom or he's gonna bust. And if you need a miracle, you want the boom, and he's the guy to have. So
you hope the Chiefs' offense has been kind of slow. Like from a fantasy perspective, I get it. The Chiefs are undefeated. They're great. They're probably gonna win the Super Bowl. This is nothing about their team. Fantasy-wise, they're really bringing me down.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes has like 6 picks on the year. Travis Kelce's done almost nothing. Wide receivers are banged up. You can't decide which running back they're going to use like each week to week. So they're hard to pin down for a team that is good.
Yeah.
They're not giving you what you need from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah. Here's one. Let me ask you a question. A guy that we haven't talked about, Kareem Hunt, signed with the Chiefs, and then led the team in rushing attempts.
Jake, if you have the other graphic, our waiver pickup of the week.
Oh no, I didn't download it. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I downloaded.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll talk about it now.
Okay.
The reason Kareem Hunt is not on this Monday Miracle is because he is our waiver pickup of the week. He's the one you want. Again, even if he doesn't end up being the primary back there, it seemes like he's taking over. Carson Steele.
Is he a running back too already?
Well, yeah, and then Carson Steele fumbled it, and Samaje Perine is like, so like I think it's Kareem Hunt. That's why you're picking him up. He might not be worth playing this week, but pick him up, see where the dust settles.
If you have both Xavier Worthy and Kareem Hunt, and you're starting one of them, who are you starting?
Xavier Worthy.
Does it matter what the rest of your game looks like? Right? So, like, if you're up and you don't need a boom, would you just start Hunt? Like, what's the safe? Because I think Hunt's safer.
I mean, Hunt will get you 10 carries, 50 yards for sure. That's the floor.
Yeah, that they have very different, right? If you need a good floor, Hunt's your play. If you need a ceiling for a week, like let's say you need 20 points, that's what it is. You need 20 points. Who you starting?
Yep.
So
worthy.
that's.
But yeah,
I'm in
pick
that.
up-
I'm in
pick up
that
Kareem Hunt,
situation in the home
Drop
league.
those waivers. Yeah.
I'm in that situation in the home league. So we'll see.
Between the
I'll
two.
don't worry. I'll report back and probably have made the wrong decision.
Yeah, sure. Well, one of them's gonna get hurt.
All right, so let's play a game. If you are in the chat with us, make sure you comment what your opinions on these, or if you're listening later, comment afterwards as well. Make sure you like it, do all that stuff. We want to hear your opinion. So, the way this is going to work, Jordan, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions.
All right.
We're 10 minutes in, so I think that'll put us right at the end of the podcast. So, I got 10 questions. You got to tell me, is this an overreaction or an underreaction?
Okay.
And we can kind of talk because I have opinions on
Jaden Daniels MVP. Right on.
Jaden Daniels MVP.
Yeah, that's a perfect reaction.
Okay. All right. Shall we? All right.
Yeah.
Let's just start with a some more simple one. Josh Allen will win the MVP this year. I guess an underreaction would just be you saying yes.
That he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is. I think it's an overreaction. I
And
do not
okay,
think Jordan needs to MVP.
explain. I think it's an underreaction. I mean, if
think
he
he will win the
continues to
MVP?
play like this, there's no reason he won't. So you're saying he will stop playing as well as he's playing?
Well, last week he didn't play that well.
Well, I understand that, but
I think that is more his zone. Is
in fantasy, it's frustrating. He's either getting 30 or 7.
yeah.
So who would you put there? Like 4 weeks in, like who is this competition right now?
Jaden Daniels. I already told you.
Jaden Daniels
Top
will
dog.
not win MVP. It has
Care to
never
make a
happened.
bucket?
Yes, yes. That's a very easy bucket. That
Care
he
to
won't.
make a bucket,
Jaden
Jake?
Daniels will not. I book it will not win MVP.
All right.
It's never happened before. A rookie's never won MVP before.
I just love me.
Just
some
like
Jaden
how you
Daniels.
were. Oh, next year our home for behind the books or behind the show. Jordan and I's home league is going to go to redraft next year, and I'm hoping to get him. He's just so exciting to watch.
Yeah, he's so fun.
Oh, he's so fun.
But
But
Josh Allen is a contender for it. Josh Allen just always ends up falling apart a little bit toward the end of the year. He has not shown in his career that he can sustain a huge level of production all season.
if you're asking
I'm
me,
excited for him. He's always good at the start of the year. It's like Derek Carr being like, Derek Carr, he's the MVP.
And this
It's
is-
like, no, he's going to pumpkin.
and this is fun because like you're asking pretty much, do you want Josh Allen or the field, right?
It's the field.
And I'd rather have Josh Allen. I think he's going to win it. So,
Okay.
all right, moving on. All right. Well, last award one. Sam Darnold will win Comeback Player of the Year.
Ooh. Who else would be
may
in
I?
contention for that?
May I?
Yeah, uh-huh.
I think it's an overreaction because I don't think he continues doing this. In order to win this at this point, he's 5th in odds to win MVP right now. I don't know who the other one who might win it, but I think the Rails will fall off. And if the Rails fall off, there's not a chance he wins it, even if he had the great first 4 games.
I don't know.
If he takes them to the playoffs, will he win it? How about that?
Who else would? I'm trying to think who else. What about Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers is the media
That's
hype. Aaron Rodgers will win.
that was my thinking.
If Aaron Rodgers plays the whole season, even if they don't do well, unless they like do horribly, like, but if they win like 8 games,
If
like,
both
it'll
of
be
them
Aaron
make the
Rodgers.
playoffs, I think Aaron Rodgers wins it.
Yeah, I think the media hype. I'm just trying to think of like who would, and
Like, who is
there's
hurt
always
and-
kind of the, Joe Flacco won it last year, but it was like exciting.
Then they changed the criteria for it.
Yeah, so I would say that is it. I would say I like Sam Darnold for that award. It's an overreaction because it's going to be Aaron Rodgers.
There you go. All right. Moving on. Next one. Where am I? I lost my thing here. Derrick Henry will lead the NFL in touchdown scores this year, not including quarterbacks. Not including quarterbacks. Of position players, Derrick Henry will have the most touchdowns.
Does he have the most right now? I think he does.
He has.
He might
Well,
be
no. He has. Let me think. He has 5, and we just had Kamara had scored 3. Hunt.
I'm looking at the
or
stats.
Walker has scored a bunch.
Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Kyron Williams all have 5 rushing TDs
Okay.
and 1 receiving touchdowns. They all have
6.
So they're all tied for first.
Correct. Overreaction, underreaction. I'm gonna say
these are good.
I'm
These
gonna
are
say,
good because like
thank you.
he's in the mix.
I'm gonna
He
say
is in the
yes.
mix.
I'm gonna say that's an underreaction. I think he wins it because in my head he has the most clearest path to continue to score touchdowns.
My
There's no
only concern
reason
is
this will change.
Lamar Jackson like stealing some of those goal line carries, but they don't really do that.
They don't
like
do that.
Pittsburgh
Like-
does, or Jalen Hurts, and like Philadelphia does. You're right. So I'll agree with you, Jake.
All right.
I can't come up with a better situation. Like, so who's in a better spot to score more touchdowns than Derrick Henry? Nobody.
Exactly. Also, that 87-yard touchdown he had on like the second play of the game.
Incredible.
It was so cool because it was just like no one touched him. I always love plays when someone hits a hole and then it's just gone. Like no one.
Yeah.
It's the second prettiest play in the NFL. The first being the slant. If you take a slant untouched, you know what I'm talking
Untouched all
about?
the way.
You take the
Yeah.
slant and he cuts it straight up the field. It's beautiful. Chad said it's an overreaction.
I
get it. The field, there's a lot more guys, right?
That's hard. You know, any of these being like, is Derrick Henry or anyone else? Like, if I'm in Vegas, I'm taking the field, right? But you're.
All right. I got 5 more and we'll wrap it up.
Right,
Ready?
Let's do it.
Travis Kelce is done being a tight end 1 in the NFL. In fantasy, sorry. He is done being elite.
For
I could
fantasy
even
football-
rephrase it. In fantasy football, he is done being a top 5 tight end.
Correct. That's underreaction. What would that be? Underreaction.
That would be an underreaction. You're agreeing.
Correct. Yeah. I think he still has the clutch gene in him.
Playoff time, he's going to go
Like-
nuts.
I think he's like, again, this is where like, you know, the football mind, like the football fan
Yeah.
versus the fantasy football like analysis comes into play. Travis Kelce, the fantasy player, I have him on the team. I'm gonna start him every single week.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna be heartbroken every single week because I do agree he has fallen out of, you know, top 5. You know,
Also, if we could
but I think
just...
football-wise, he'll always come in clutch.
If we could just finish this or say this, it is not because he is dating Taylor Swift. It is not because he's out of shape. It's because
Was that?
yes,
was
people
it, people are saying
people
that?
hate that all on the interwebs. And here's the thing, yeah, he did work out less this offseason. He's also 35. Like Father Time is undefeated. We've talked about this, and we're seeing it. But there's no tight end I want more when playoffs start. Because he will score.
The clutch side of things is, I just wish that it's like he has the perfect situation in fantasy right now. Your wide receivers are injured.
Yeah.
Like, you know, your running backs are banged up. It's like there's a perfect situation to be like the number 1, and he's just not that anymore.
Yeah.
And if he's not doing it now, he's not going to do it the right
Still has great touchdown upside, though. I will say that.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, sidebar, Mark Andrews. That's so sad. 2 straight games with no catches.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much just being like, we want Likely out there.
Yep.
So
Well, Likely's awesome, though.
I just dropped him. I just dropped Mark Andrews in one of our leagues.
Oh, bold.
Yeah,
All right.
I think
I mean,
it's
it's
a-
the right call. It just, again, it's some of that, I
It
think,
just
being
felt
good at fantasy
terrible.
football.
It just felt, because like tight ends are so low or so like
Yeah.
barren. It felt terrible to drop Mark Andrews and pick up, I can't remember who it was, but it was like Zach Ertz or something like that. I'm just
Yeah.
like, this sucks. I hate this.
This is one of those things, like, to be good at fantasy football, you kind of like throw name recognition out the door sometimes a
Yeah.
little bit. You know, you're like, sorry, Mark. Like,
All right.
I don't know what to tell you.
Here's a fun one. And
Yeah.
the answer is going to be an overreaction, but it's fun to say this right now. The Bears should have kept Justin Fields instead of drafting.
Get
Caleb
out of
Williams.
here. Overreaction.
And I say that
Overreaction. Get outta
because
here.
people who like these sort of things, right? There are Bears fans that are saying that. It's just
Yeah.
true because you're watching Justin Fields flourish, right? And you're seeing Caleb Williams not do. And what's unfortunately for Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels is doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
But Caleb Williams is week 1 to week 4 here. There's been a giant jump. You know, he's going to be good. But
I think Adam would talk about the coaching here. Like, if Caleb Williams was in Pittsburgh,
yeah,
think of how, think of what Pittsburgh would be doing right now. I think there is an aspect of, like, obviously the situation is great, the coaching is great, they're setting Justin Fields up to succeed. Caleb Williams, again, everyone was like a little hyped because it was like, oh, the Bears aren't the true worst team. They got it from Carolina, blah, blah, blah. They are building weapons. They're still not a good team.
Agreed.
And, like, they're building it up and stuff like that. So, no, overreaction. Rather have Caleb 10
Agreed.
times out of 10.
All right,
But
here's
good
a
for
fun
Justin Fields.
Yeah, good for
he
Justin
deserves
Fields.
it. 'cause,
I like
yeah,
Justin Fields. I always
Bears ruined
have.
him.
It just goes to show you how good Mike Tomlin is. Really.
Yeah. I feel like every year we talk about this is the year they're gonna go under 500,
And
and
he's
every
like,
year it's like no, they're winning the division with the Ravens and the Bengals.
And then the one game that they lose, it was like competitive, like you know. All right, Drake May should not play at any point this year.
Overreaction.
I could
He
not
should
disagree.
absolutely be
Oh my god, I could not disagree more.
You don't think he should play at all?
So for some reason, I ended up with a lot of Ramondre Stevenson in fantasy. So I've been watching.
He's not
him.
even going to start. They're literally talking about starting Antonio Gibson because
I know. Hold on. We're
Ramondre's
not
fumble
talking
problems.
about Ramondre. My
You
point is-
brought him up.
Just
You
hold
brought him
on.
up.
Let me finish. I've been watching a lot of Patriots games. That's why. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That
sorry.
line.
I overreacted.
That line is so bad. You don't gain anything by putting Drake May out there. You're not winning this year, no matter if you put him out or not. And you're going to get him killed out there. Jacoby Brissett's not a good quarterback. Adam loves him, but he's not, right? And he's not even getting a chance to show how bad he is because he is just being torn apart. You gain nothing. Jacoby Brissett is smart, right? There's a reason he's been in the NFL for this long, right? Because Drake May is probably learning a lot. There's no reason to play. Your coach is not fighting for his job. Your GM is not
he's
fighting
safe.
for his job.
Yeah.
You're not going to win this year. You're seeing Aaron Rodgers, who's maybe this is his last year, so why even attempt to get in there and fight the Jets? Tua will be back. You're not winning this division is my point, right? You're not going to get a wild card with how many great teams are in the AFC North. There's no reason to put him out. I understand that if you're betting the house, he'll probably go out there because that's how the football works, right? But there's no reason you should put him out there.
This is where you and I disagree on just team.
He's going to get killed.
That's fine. That on the job training. How do you get better? Get out there.
Or you put him out there like they did Justin Fields and he got destroyed and it just kills his psyche.
I mean, I guess.
There's
But
no
if they're
reason.
not, I just think
You put Caleb
drafted
Williams out
someone
there, right?
In the top five.
Caleb Williams has a terrible offensive line as well, but you throw him out there, right? Because you gave him great weapons. There's great players around him. The line sucks, but other than that, right? They have a really good receiving core, a pretty good tight end, decent running backs. He has none of that. He has zero. He has Hunter Henry.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like you draft a guy that high, you got to see him play. So,
and they will next year. That's my thought.
A whole year. Like you're basically punting on the season.
Yes.
It's week 5, and you're like, let's punt.
He shouldn't play.
Their offense is stagnant. It's like boring to watch.
Correct, and he shouldn't play.
They literally like get 100 total yards.
All right.
Like,
Let's
you
give
gotta
him
do
a move.
something.
Let's give him
You
a
gotta
move.
do something.
Speaking of terrible quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson is the worst quarterback in the NFL. Of the 32 starters, let's take Jacoby Brissett out of there because that's a different situation. He is the worst one.
All right, I'm pulling up a list because
Okay.
I gotta.
So we're talking.
I want to say
Gardner
yes.
Minshew.
I want to say yes.
Gardner Minshew.
I'd rather have Gardner Minshew.
Yes. Deshaun Watson has no idea what he's doing. He is taking sacks on fourth down. And we've talked about how much we hate Deshaun Watson for the off-the-field stuff. Do you want to know why I hate him even more? And usually in these conversations we could be like, oh, well, he's probably a nice guy, right? No, we hate him for that too. But when they asked him for going into last week, hey, would you be willing to run the ball more if that's what your team needed? He goes, nope, I'm not a running back. Imagine your team having a hard time and your quarterback says that. This guy is a bum. He is a bum.
I'm playing. I totally agree. Football-wise, I would rather have every quarterback and every backup quarterback than Deshaun Watson, his personality, his off-the-field issues, and his contract. I would take anybody else. But playing devil's advocate, Will Levis.
See, that's the other play. But at least with Will Levis, you can be like, young, learning, making mental mistakes, will get better. He hurt his shoulder diving for a first down.
Yeah.
Because he's trying. He looks angry when he makes mistakes.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you poor little bugger. Like, Deshaun Watson doesn't look like he cares
he's
at
just
all.
complacent. He just doesn't care.
Because why would you? Your entire thing is guaranteed.
Yep. Here's some other quarterbacks I'll throw around here just for argument's sake. Bryce Young.
He's not playing right now. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay,
Let me transition. Let me transition to the next overreaction.
Okay.
Bryce Young has played his last game for Carolina.
That's true.
Even more, I'll say his last game for Carolina this year. Because I don't think we've seen the last of him. I don't.
No, so another team will pick him up.
No, I think he plays in Carolina this year.
You think he plays in Carolina?
Yeah, I think come week 10, week 12, they're out of it. He's had time to reset. I would imagine they're going to start. Otherwise, they already have Carolina just fumbled the bag.
Well, it's just different. Like, there's a whole new coach and management in there now.
Keep talking about Bryce Young to yourself.
Oh, okay. I would say there's just new coaching, new management in there. And in situations like this, it's like, this isn't my quarterback. We saw it with Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen drafted by the Cardinals. The next year, new regime and things like that in there. And then they brought in Kyler Murray. They still use their first round pick for Kyler Murray. I just think there's the draft capital they gave up, of course, stings, and it'll go down as one of those crazy trades. Can you believe this happened? It got the Bears Caleb Williams, especially if Caleb Williams is what we think he is. But
terrible.
It's a new regime there. Obviously it's the same owner, but new GM, new coach, new coaching staff, new identity, and so it's not your guy. So I don't. If they don't want to ride with Bryce Young, they'll trade him for second or
they fumbled this
third round pick
so
or conditional
bad.
third round pick. Oh, of course.
Just
but again,
so
it's
bad.
The old GM did, who's not there anymore. So Bryce Young's not your guy. That's
Jordan,
how I feel.
Jordan, no. I'm sorry. Don't let them off the hook like this. They didn't play him the last preseason game to keep him healthy so that because they were like, oh, Bryce Young's the guy. And it took 2 games for them to be like, nah, not anymore.
Yeah, he's bad.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he stays bad. You trade him who I'm trading him to? The Jets. Or
Why?
somewhere, where he can go and just sit and just learn and just reset, something like that, right? Somewhere with an established quarterback, and then hopefully.
I think he's going to be a top flight backup. People are going to want him as their backup quarterback.
Yeah.
But
Someone quickly said, do you start Bucky or grab Algier? I have mixed in, but not confident he will play this week. I'm grabbing Bucky. Bucky has standalone value this week. Algier, while he did get carries, you can't count on them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But though Algier, very good handcuff. All right, last one, and we'll end this here, Jordan. Malik Neighbors, who probably won't play this week because of the concussion.
I hope he does. I'm counting on him.
He's a top 10. He'll finish as a top 10 wide receiver this year. In fantasy. Let's say in fantasy.
Yes.
Yes?
PPR?
Under I think he'll be right there, right at 10. I'll say it is I'll take the field, so I'll take overreaction, but it depends how long this concussion kills him, right? If he's out for 4 games, well then no. But
the target difference is
it's
insane.
crazy.
I'm looking at stats. He has 10 targets more than number 2.
Yeah.
Nico Collins has 43 targets. Malik Neighbors has 52 targets. And Malik Neighbors week 1 did almost nothing.
Yeah.
So
I think that
in a PPR, he has the most receptions, he has the most targets, the most receptions. He's number 1 in fantasy right now.
There's no reason as a rookie.
I would have said yes to top 10, but now I'm looking at this and I'm like,
yeah, as a rookie, there's no reason he shouldn't
confirmed.
get 100 catches this year.
Confirmed. Yeah.
So, yeah, he might break some records.
He might break some records.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right. In our home league this year, I had the number 1 and number 2 pick.
Yeah.
And which was very exciting. I made some savvy trades, and I took Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison, and now I'm kicking myself. I didn't take Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors.
Yeah,
I'd be running away
I told
with
you
the
to
title
trade
right
back.
now.
Yeah, but you're not. Actually, in the home league, everyone's 2-2 almost. All right, guys. So there you go. There's week 4. Games start in 7 minutes. So log off, kick back, watch some Bucks Falcons, which I think could actually be a pretty good game.
I think it'll be fun. Game. Divisional, they'll beat up on each other. I'm here for it.
We'll be back next week with week 6.
Week
Yeah,
six.
6.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if we'll... Yeah, never mind. We'll talk about that later. All right, you can find us on YouTube, youtube.com/FlourishS, Next Step Fantasy Football Podcast, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Please hit the like button, the share button, all that stuff. We appreciate every single part of it. Jordan, do you have anything else you want to say?
Go Packers.
Go, Pat, go.
Get those dubs this week.
Get those dubs. All right.